people talk a lot about imagination, and you know, the funny thing of it is the culture, you know, in probably in the world defines, or would, you know, if you had to ask somebody what imagination is, they would say, oh, well, you know, boys imagine that they're, you know, playing cowboys and Indians back when I was a young kid anyway, and or you're fighting the war on the sands of Iwo Jima, or, you know, you're going to be an NFL star and hit that hole and win the Super Bowl or knock the ball out of the park in the World Series Game 7, those type of things. And it's important to growth. And with wrestling, it's no different. I remember my brother and I competing all 10 weight classes in the Olympic Games, where he'd be the Americans and I'd be the Russians, and we'd wrestle all 10 weight classes. And we'd both try to win all 10 weight classes one weight at a time to become the Olympic champion. Things like that. That's a big part of. It's really a way a kid or a young person starts to goal set, if you think about it, because as you grow older and you learn about how to become the greatest, whether it's wrestling or business or whatever, you have to do affirmations, you have to do self-talk, you have to find positive solutions, and you do those things through training your mind to do that subconsciously. And in order to have your mind do things subconsciously, you have to train it consciously first. And that's really the roots of imagination. So go ahead and believe that you're going to be the Olympic champion. You don't have to broadcast it. It's not something that anybody knew coming out of my mouth. You know, it wasn't something that every single day people heard, you know, what my goal was. It was inside of me. It was mine. It was my vision. I owned it. And the way that you come to own it is through that imagination. So go ahead and imagine that you're going to be the Olympic champion. And then back it up. Back it up with action. Back it up with training. Back it up with integrity. Back it up with the solutions that you need as an individual, not that I think you need. You know, Eastern Iowa Wrestling can provide that blueprint, but ultimately you're going to take the information that we give you, and then you're gonna make a mountain out of that information, and you're going to add a lot of really, really strong and good and imaginative ideas to become the best wrestler that you can become. And I'll end this with a story. Sheldon, Iowa, 5th grade playground. Tom Brands, somebody said something to him about what do you want to be, and he said, I'm going to be an Olympic champion. And a kid that was fairly bigger said, there's no way that's going to happen. And so you can imagine what happened. There was a fisticuffs, and so they dragged Tom into the office, and the principal says, what the heck's going on? You know, you're starting fights out in the playground. And Tom's, you know, he told me that I'd never be able to be an Olympic champion. And that was something that you don't let people tread on your dreams. So move forward, imagine all you want, and train your mind to be positive, and imagine things that are constructive to society, that are constructive to society, not destructive to society. You know what I mean. You guys are old enough to know, and understand the difference.